If you live in Harrisburg, you know Allison Hill, and you know that it doesn't have the best reputation as being a desirable place to live.
But the work of one couple and now hundreds of volunteers is working in a very practical way. They're trying to change that. Those volunteers are right now in the midst of the 2019 Love the Hill project. Take a look. The Love the Hill project is the work of the nonprofit group Wildheart. Founders Tannon and Cristina are here with us now. Thanks for being with us today.
Totally, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited about this. It's terrific what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's amazing, and you've developed this heart for Allison Hill, but you actually unknowingly moved there. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah, so we were actually invited to move to Harrisburg to work with another nonprofit. And when we landed, the person who invited us had bought us a house to live in, so we moved in there, and it was right there in Allison Hill. And of course, not being from the area, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. But then, of course, as we spent time outside looking around, we're like, whoa, this is not exactly what we thought we were getting ourselves into. And being there and our eyes being open to really the issues of the community is kind of really what spurred us to start the nonprofit that we're running today.
And you started that, it's called Wildheart. You started it in 2016. It's been growing clearly since then. And right now you're hosting this Love the Hill Summer Project, your third one. So what's happening?
Yeah, so I mean, again, if anyone has spent any amount of time in Allison Hill or heard things about Allison Hill, one of the big things that's going on there is the trash issue. So we decided to do something about that and begin cleaning up around where we live. And we live on South 13th Street, which is arguably like the heart of the South Allison Hill area. So yeah, 3 years ago we just rallied volunteers together and ended up running into Public Works in the middle of the process and began cleaning up the community. And so here we are 3 years later. I mean, just amazing things have happened.
I don't think you understand just how much you guys have done until you hear some of these numbers. So Cristina, can you talk us through, I mean, just how much trash has been removed?
So within the past 2 years, we've removed over 1 million pounds of trash. So, and that's within only 20 city blocks. So right now we're in our third year, so we're already adding to that number. I don't have those final numbers in yet, but it's just amazing how it's so easy as you walk around Allison Hill, like you see the need, and we lived there a couple of years before, and it's so easy to point the finger of who's responsible, this is not my problem, and then one day we finally just said, okay, enough is enough, like, let's just do something about it. We never saw ourselves doing this, but we just like stepped in there and said, like, let me be the solution to an area of great need. And it's just really impacting the community in a powerful way.
Yeah.
There's just so much more to talk about, so you're going to stay with us because in the next half hour, I want to talk more about how cleaning up, you know, it's a really good idea, but it goes beyond that. It's changing not just the aesthetics of the community, and you're seeing such a change. So you're going to talk more with Amanda and Dan about that in the next half hour.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks for being here so much.
Earlier in our show, we told you about Wildheart. Right now, it's in the midst of its third Love the Hill Summer Project in Harrisburg's Allison Hill.
That project, in its first 2 years, cleared away more than 1 million tons of trash and debris and cleaned up about 600 properties. And that has increased community morale and lowered area crime. Back with us now is Operations Manager Cristina Herman, joined by Aaron Johnson and David West from the city's Public Works Department. This is a fantastic project.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, 1 million pounds of trash just coming out of that small section of Allison Hill. That is incredible. That's just part of the Love the Hill project. So there's a 5-year plan. Cristina, can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so right now we're in year 3 of 5, and basically that will cover all of South Allison Hill. So more than just trash, that's a huge focus, is illegal dump sites, but then we're also focusing on giving people planter boxes in front of their houses and doing basic landscaping, going through all of the areas and really cleaning things up that have been neglected for probably 15 to 20 years.
I was going to say, the years part of it, too. I went to Bishop McDevitt, of course, a neighbor of Allison Hill, and we just always thought about how can we clean up and give back. So how is the Public Works Department helping with this? And obviously it takes years to reverse the trend, too, right?
Yes, part of the problem was that the city of Harrisburg's employees are not allowed to go on private properties. You know, when Wildheart Ministries came and, you know, start doing their cleanup, we received a call from a resident, actually, and stated that someone's out here putting trash out in the streets and we don't know what they're doing. And we came out and we were introduced to Tannon and Cristina, and we found out what they were doing, and we said, oh, well, okay, well, how can we become a part of this? And it went on from there.
Now that you've met them, it's been a few years, they're not from here. It's just from the goodness of their hearts. I mean, what's that like to have somebody helping out in a city like this?
Well, for me, when I met Tanner, he's like somebody I knew, you know, easy to speak to. He has that same passion that me and Dave have for the city of Harrisburg as far as this blight issue, you know, and actually a blessing, you know, it really is truly a blessing. And these young people that come out here and work, I mean, because it's massive trash, as you can see.
Right,
I mean, like, they go in places that we can't even go into, but they really do us, the city, a great service because us trying to really fight this blight, because it's more them than us. So with them coming on board, and it's just truly been a blessing. As you can see, this is the 3rd year.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're talking about the team of people it takes. How do the viewers get involved if they're interested?
So basically, like, we're looking for volunteers. We are looking for groups of people to come in, whether that's like communities of faith or just like even local businesses. And we really need all the players to come on board. We're talking about reversing things that have been gone on for 15 to 20 years. And it's going to take a whole city to come behind us. We're also looking for people, businesses to sponsor us, whether that's like $1,000, $5,000, or even just basic projects. Like right now, we're in the middle of raising money to buy a dump trailer to be able to do some of the things that we're doing. And so those are some really practical ways, but ultimately, like, we need opportunities, connections, and really, like, the whole city. What could it look like if the whole city really got behind this?
Yeah, and the one thing I want to mention is just in talking with you guys, they're able to stretch $1 so far. So we talk about these monetary donations, and you said $1 now becomes 25 because of what you've been able to do and the connections you've made in the community. So if you want more information, they have a great Facebook page set up, also a great website, so make sure you check that out. Thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.